Hi guys, my name is Sandy Twini and welcome back to my channel. Remember, if you like what I have to say, please like and subscribe. Now today I'm going to be talking about, in fact I've been getting this question so many times on my DMs as well as on my comments, but recently I just got an email from a person, a student, that actually asked me how did I become a tax practitioner. So instead of just telling them how I've become a tax practitioner and how I registered with the professional body that I've registered with, I thought let me just go and find out what other professional bodies are out there that they can register with, and also just see what other options are there other than the option that I took. Because what I actually realized is that there's so many ways that a person can actually become a tax practitioner. It's just nice because it's not just one way. There's just so many, and there's so many professional bodies that one can register through to become a tax professional. So I'm going to be talking about 5 professional bodies today, but there's actually other ones, but I can't cover everything. Obviously, you can just Google others. I'm sure you will find them. And then even with SARS, you can actually ask them which professional bodies can you register with, so that you can become a professional tax practitioner. Now, the reason I'm covering these 5 professional bodies is because after having worked in corporate and also starting my own business, I've always worked with people that actually are registered with 1 or 2 of these. Personally, I'm registered with 2. South African Institute of Chartered Accountants, no, not Chartered Accountants, no. South African Institute, I have nothing against Chartered Accountants, no. I love Chartered Accountants. I actually wanted to be a Chartered Accountant. But anyway, South African Institute of Professional Accountants, they actually have a division within the SAIPA that's called the Center of Tax Excellence. I'm also registered with the South African Institute of Business Accountants, which is SAIBA. They don't have a division for tax, but within SAIBA, they actually cater for tax professionals as well. In fact, if you register with one of their professional if you register with one of their professional body, with the professional body itself, you then are eligible to register as a tax practitioner. I'll be covering that on this video, so if you're interested, please listen some more. The first professional body that I'm actually going to be covering is CIMA. Now with CIMA, guys, I don't think being a tax practitioner for CIMA people is very popular, but there are people that are actually tax practitioners through CIMA. They're entry level. Oh yes, I will be covering entry level requirements for these, because I mean that's exactly what the person was asking me on the email, how to become a tax practitioner. The reason I'm mentioning this is because over and above the entry level, you obviously, like in any profession, you can actually go up a level. So for instance, most entry levels are tax technicians, and then you go to tax professional or tax practitioner, and then from there you go to master practitioner or specialist. So I'm just going to be covering entry levels just to help people on how to actually get in. Then after they've gotten in, they'll figure everything else out by themselves. So with CIMA, you need to be registered for their certificate in business accountancy in order to be able to go in and be eligible to register as a tax practitioner with them. Now, this is the process for all these professional bodies. You get the qualifications, you get the experience that they require for whatever their entry level is. Over and above that, guys, you still need to go to SARS and actually register as a tax practitioner. So in other words, if you register with a professional body, for instance, I'll make an example myself. I'm registered with SAIPA and SAIBA. Now, over and above that, I did have to go to SARS and actually register as a tax practitioner. With SARS, you get what you call a practice number, which is in practice we call them PR numbers. Even when you phone SARS to inquire about your client, the first thing they ask you is your PR number. So over and above registering with the professional body, it's important that you then go to SARS and actually get your practice number. For everyone now, this is everyone, even if you registered SAICA, CIMA, SAIBA, SAIPA, all these professional bodies and others that I'm not going to cover on the video. Now, as I've mentioned with CIMA, their certificate in business accountancy will actually get you registered as a tax professional. Now, I didn't get much information on this one, but I mean, you can always just go to their the website www.cima.co.za. Is it .co.za? It's an international body. They should have a South African one anyway. But just Google CIMA and then you will get the requirements and all of that stuff, because there are requirements in order to register to get a certificate in business accountancy. Like I said, I couldn't get a lot of information when it comes to tax. I don't think it's a lot of people that actually are management accountants that actually want to do tax. Oops. Anyway, the second one that I'm going to be covering is SAIBA. That is the South African Institute of Business Accountants. I'm also registered with this one as their business accountant. Now, with SAIBA, in order to register and become a tax practitioner, you need to register as a business accountant in practice with them. Now, what are the requirements for that? In order to register as a business accountant, you need a commerce degree or diploma. With that, you need to at least have accounting 3. When I say accounting 3, I mean accounting at level 3. You need tax level 2, auditing level 2, MENEC and law in level 2. And together with that, you need at least 4 years relevant experience in tax or accounting. Okay, so then you will get the business accountant in practice. You will get the business accountant in practice designation if you want to register with SAIBA. And if you have that designation, then you can register as a tax practitioner. Then you have to go to SARS still and get your PR number, apply for it. Now, with some professional bodies, I know they did this with SAIPA. They actually sent my details to SARS themselves, which is nice. They do that all for you, but I mean, you do pay an annual fee so they can take care of you. So, but anyway, this is the designation that you need to register with if you want to register with SAIBA. And then the third professional body that I'm going to be covering is SAICA. SAICA is the South African Institute of Chartered Accountants. Now, with SAICA, actually, I just found out that they actually have a designation called accounting technician. I think this is their entry-level designation because the requirements for this are actually an NQF level 4, which is a metric. Together with that, they need 3 years practical experience. And then if you register with them as an accounting technician and you have 3 years practical tax experience you have 3 years experience in a tax environment, then you can register as a tax technician. But now with that is another requirement is that within 3 years from registering as an accounting technician, you need to get your NQF level 5. So say for instance, right now in 2019, I applied to SAICA to be an accounting technician. I get admitted because I already have 3 years experience in a tax environment. And then I become an accounting technician and then I go register with SARS. I get my PR number within 3 years from now, 2019. So that will be 20, 21, 22. In 2022, then I should have at least acquired my NQF level 5. So that means from now until 2022, I need to get studying in order to get an NQF level 5. Because then if by 2022, I don't have this NQF level 5 that they want, then they will kick me out. I will no longer be registered with them as an accounting technician. And that will mean that I don't have a professional body that I'm registered with in order to practice as a tax practitioner. That's SAICA. And remember, this is entry level, guys. People who are chartered accountants, they can just go ahead and register because they've got the experience, they've got the qualifications. And so, yeah. That was just an example though. From there, I am going to be covering SAIT. It's the South African Institute of Tax Professionals. This is a body that was started by SARS itself, but it's independent of SARS. It's a body that was started by SARS, but it's independent of SARS. In other words, it's got their own chairpersons and dondons and everything. In other words, the reason I'm mentioning this, I'm emphasizing it, is because if you're registered with SAIT, you still need to go to SARS and get your practice number. Now with SAIT as well, there's different levels, but their entry level is actually tax technician level. For that, you need an NQF level 5 or 6. And then you need recognized prior year learning, not prior year, sorry, recognition of prior learning. And also with that, you need to complete their recognition of prior learning. And then in the past 7 years, you need to have been working in a tax environment for 5 of those years. Ne? And then also something they mentioned is that if by any chance you want to register as a tax technician with SAIT, but then you have NQF level 4, you can, as long as within 3 years of registering, you will get your NQF level 5. That's very similar to the accounting technician designation by SARS. The only difference here is that at the South African Institute of Tax Professionals, you need NQF level 5 or 6, and then that recognition of prior learning, and then you need that experience of about, with SAICA it was 3 years practical experience, but here it's 5 years practical experience in the last 7 years. So if you have the 5 years experience, but then you last worked in a tax environment in the last 15 years, then you're not going to qualify. You need to have had that experience in the last 7 years. 5 of the last 7 years should have been in a tax environment. That's their entry level. Like I mentioned before, even SAIT has different levels. They have tax technician, they have general level, they have masters, they have tax advisors. So at least this one is the entry level that you will need in order to go in, and then after that you can just keep on developing yourself. And then the last one that I'm going to cover is one of the ones that I'm actually registered with, that I love very much, and no, they didn't pay me to say this. SAIPA. SAIPA is the South African Institute of Professional Accountants. Now they went and created a Center of Tax Excellence division within SAIPA. This is now specifically for tax practitioners. Now even with them, they have different levels: professional tax technician, professional tax practitioner, professional tax specialist. Now professional tax technician, you need your degree, you need 4 years work experience. You also need to do an exam. There's an exam, it's called the Center of Tax Excellent exam. I call it the COTE exam, COTE, COTE exam. You still need to do that exam. So that's their entry level, which is very nice. Because for them it's for the tax technician, the entry level, you need 18 months or more of experience. 18 months or more of experience, 4 years verifiable practical experience, a COTE exam, and a national diploma. So that's the one, if you want to register with SAIPA. Now for all of these guys, for CIMA, you can go online and search it. SAIBA, still www.saiba.co.za, SAIPA, same thing. All of these, you can go online and Google and check for yourself these requirements. Now, something else that I actually wanted to say to you, because back in the day, there were no professional bodies that were actually regulating tax practitioners. It was banguvula's book, and everyone just did what they wanted. I could wake up one day and be like, I'm a tax practitioner today, and I'll take your monies and I'll do the work or not do it, and there was nothing you can do about it. So then government noticed this trend. People were getting, people were taking people's monies. It was pretty bad. So government saw this and they decided to actually regulate. That's why then they decided to partner. I will call it partnering, because they went to all these professional bodies and said that, look, can you start something like this that's actually going to regulate people, keep them accountable? Because nowadays, if you're a tax professional, the first thing that you should ask the person is, which professional body are they registered with? Number one. Number two, they should give you their registration number so that you can actually go check. And then number three, you should actually ask them for their PR number, their registration at SARS now. Because that PR number, you can go and search them. Some people actually get banned to actually practice for whatever reason. So those are things that you need to actually check when someone tells you that they're tax professional. Because if you just take any person and use them as a tax professional and then things go bad, then you can't do anything about it if they're not registered with the professional body. But if they are, then you can find them accountable. Now I'll tell you about my professional body, the one that I'm registered with SAIPA, the Center of Excellence, the Center of Tax Excellence. The nice thing about that as well is that there's actually insurance that covers my clients in case that covers me in case I do something bad and then one of my clients gets into trouble and then they need money. There's actually insurance if I'm found that actually what I did was actually my fault. There's actually insurance set aside in order to cover such things. So that's the nice thing about being registered with a professional body, is that should things go sour, at least there are steps that you as a taxpayer or a client that I was helping with tax services, you can go to that professional body and actually report me and hold me accountable. Can even go further and go to SARS and report me using my PR number. That is why it is very important. I know that even though SARS has actually come up with this way of actually regulating and stopping all this chaos, there are still people that are actually still continuing as tax professionals even though they're not. For instance, if you take people's money and do income tax returns for them, that's not allowed. That's not allowed if you're not registered. That's like someone now earns matronisa. You can't do that. If you're not registered with the FSP, then you can't be borrowing money and charging interest to people. It's not acceptable. You can't do that. Same thing with tax. You can't be taking people's money and then doing their returns if you are not registered with a professional body. And also something that I love about most of these professional bodies, but I know for mine, for a fact for mine, it is the case. When you register with them, with all that experience, with all those qualifications that you hold, they still actually require you to write a test. It's what we call the COTE exams, Center of Tax Excellence exam. That exam is actually to make sure that you actually know what you're talking about. You actually, even though you've got all this experience and all these qualifications, but can you actually do the practical work? It's a very practical exam that you take online to actually check if you actually are able, you are competent. So very, very important, guys. Now, if you like this, please give it a thumbs up and also subscribe to my channel, Tax Shelter. I'm also on Facebook as Tax Shelter, and I'm also on Instagram as Tax Shelter. Yes, guys, thank you for listening, and bye.